Hello, my name is Molly Hildebrand, and I wanted to share another perspective on leadership today. Do you know how your teams make decisions? We're exploring the aspects that make up a person's uniqueness. So as a leader, you can help your teams gain energy and focus that energy on a purpose that will help them achieve healthy happiness. Last week, we discussed a person's picture perspective. Adding to that, we're going to explore a person's processing perspective. This is the perspective that determines how you reach a conclusion. You either tend to process your thoughts internally or externally. An internal processor needs to think to talk. They will process their thoughts in their brain, and when they speak, they've already formed a conclusion. Some people call this think to talk. An external processor needs to talk to think. They will process their thoughts as they talk out loud. So when they begin to speak, they're just beginning the process to forming a conclusion. Just like your picture perspective, this can be on a spectrum as well. We see team members that are super internal or somewhat internal, somewhat external or super external. And just like picture perspective, we can all do both. But this measure determines which direction you like to go in order to gain energy. I have a mix of internal and external processors in my home team. I have one son who is an external processor, so we understand that when he starts talking, he hasn't reached a conclusion. He's just hearing his thoughts for the first time too. We don't hold him to his ideas when he first starts sharing. We've worked with him to understand his uniqueness, and now he will verbalize a variety of options that he's considering. And when he's ready to make his conclusion, he will say, "And my final answer is..." That's our clue that we can now start to work on what he's agreed to. This has allowed him to feel like he has a safe place to process, and we see much better decisions being made by giving him space. With our internal processing son, we know that when he says something, it's already a conclusion. Unfortunately, we aren't always invited to be a part of the early brainstorming that he does in his head. So we've learned to ask him to share the journey he went on to get to his conclusion. We also give him a safe place to change his conclusion after he brought more people into the discussion. Knowing the processing perspective of my home team has enabled me to be able to adjust to help each one of them flow more, resulting in a more energized and engaged team. So what is your plan to help all your teams process their thoughts more effectively this week? Thank you for letting me share my leadership thought. Have a great week.